ASN Lifestyle Magazine is your go-to source for sex-positive, sophisticated content covering everything from the swinger lifestyle and adult entertainment to intimacy, wellness, and more. You can read every digital issue for free, and subscribers get access to exclusive content. See the show notes for the link to subscribe and check out their Instagram. I'm excited to share that I now have a monthly column in ASN called Big Clit Energy, a Please Me series. Don't miss it and subscribe today. Welcome to Please Me, the podcast bringing you bold conversations and big clit energy. Sí, Please Me ahora tiene subtítulos en español. And welcome to my Friday bonus episode series. I'm Eve, your host, on a journey from trauma to sexual liberation. Let's reclaim pleasure and close the orgasm gap, one empowering conversation at a time. Today I'm sharing my transformative journey with plant medicine, a powerful reminder that I am not broken, my body is pure, whole, and powerful, exactly as I am. As Carl Jung said, you are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become. Did you know that podcasts rely on listener support to keep bringing you the content you love? For the best way to support the show, join me on Patreon for ad-free listening, early releases, bonus episodes, and exclusive content. Or go to Substack and subscribe to my newsletter for more Please Me related news. Got a burning question or want a free 10-minute consultation with me? Download the OWL app and give me a call. Check the show notes for my code and claim your free 10-minute consultation today. Please Me is for mature audiences. Sit back, relax, and surrender to the pleasure of Please Me. Hello, and welcome to Please Me, the Friday bonus episode series. I have had so many two-part episodes this season that I have not recorded one of these in a while, and I have been talking about recording this episode for quite a while now. I've talked about it in various episodes, pre-ayahuasca journey and post-ayahuasca journey. So I wanted to talk about my experience with ayahuasca. And the reason I decided to do an ayahuasca journey is because in the 2 years that I've had this podcast, many people have discussed their ayahuasca journeys with me. And it has constantly intrigued me and made me think that maybe this was something that I should do to further my journey and my healing. And if you follow this show and my backstory, I was sexually abused from the time that I was 5 to the time that I was 11. And during those years, I was sexually abused by 5 people. And I often will talk about that in the show. And I have been on my healing journey for many years. I started really intentionally trying to heal from the issues that were caused by the sexual abuse in my 20s. And I did a lot of work, a lot of very hard work on healing that. But what I've found through the podcast in the last couple of years is that by speaking with the experts that I've found and by speaking with the coaches that I've found and the people who have written books about being present in your body, etc., I've found that it has been such an incredible healing journey as well. The podcast has really helped me to heal a lot of different layers that I didn't even know were there. And so I realized that I needed some womb healing, that I had never really done any focus on womb healing. And so I decided that I wanted to do an ayahuasca journey to really focus on my womb and focus on healing further that area of my body, because that is where we create, right? And it's such an important aspect of our body. I just did an episode with Hanny Chang who talked about the sacral chakra being our area of creativity. And we want that area to be unblocked by any kind of emotional baggage that might exist there, or even memories or trauma. And I knew that this was something that I wanted to pursue. And so I decided to do an ayahuasca journey. And basically, ayahuasca is a psychedelic drug that is made up of two different plants. And when combined, those plants cause a psychedelic effect. The purpose was not for me to do drugs, right? And of course, I am in no way, shape, or form recommending that anybody out there do ayahuasca or any other form of drug. It is a very personal choice. And I want to also mention here that the use of ayahuasca comes from indigenous peoples in the Amazon basin. And there's many different countries. It spans a variety of different countries. And I want to just be very careful about cultural appropriation here because we are taking the medicine out of the context of the Amazon, and that can lead to a lot of different problems. And I myself am not a follower of the spiritual beliefs of the people of the Amazon. So, again, taking the medicine out of context for another reason makes it different than the way that it's used originally. So I just want to make sure that I say that because my intention is not to pull a cultural experience out of its intended purpose. My purpose was for my own personal healing and appreciation for the culture that it does come from. So I just wanted to mention that here because it's very important that if you are traveling to another country, for instance, and you are trying to experience something like this, that you consider who is teaching and who is guiding you through this experience. And for me, the person that I chose to do this experience with is a shaman who is also trained by the cultures and is part of the culture that this medicine comes from. I did not travel to another country. I did it here in the United States in my own state. And so I just want to make that clear that this was something that I wanted to do as healing for myself. And by no means do I want to step on or diminish the cultures that it came from. I want to really honor them. Just to preface the conversation about the journey itself, there was a preparation phase. I had to eat a very specific diet the week before, and that meant eliminating meat. And it also meant eliminating things like dairy and alcohol and just maintaining a very clean diet. And if you know anything about ayahuasca journeys, that purging is something that is to be expected as part of the experience. And so, of course, cleansing your system before something like this is a great idea in order to prepare your body for this purging, right? And so I thought it was very interesting that when I was in the space of the journey itself, that they called purging getting well. And the reason why is because you're purging all of that emotional baggage, all of those negative feelings, energies, memories out of your body. You're cleansing your body. It's like a physical cleanse of your body. And so that was something that was obviously prepared for. And the reason why you do the diet ahead of time is also to prepare your body spiritually. You want to cleanse your body because it is a spiritual experience. And so you want to cleanse your body to be prepared for this, to allow this spiritual experience to happen to you. Now, when I got there, I was very excited, very nervous. I was, I think, the first person that arrived. And you set up like a home camp, let's put it that way, where I brought like a tarp to put on the floor or on the ground. We were on grass. And then I brought a lounge chair and pillows and blankets and mosquito repellent and snacks, water, coconut water to replenish my electrolytes, etc. I did bring probably more than anybody that was there, but it was my first time. So I really wanted to like make sure that I was comfortable throughout the night and have everything that I needed in terms of creature comforts. And I definitely probably overdid it, but that's okay because I actually used almost everything that I brought. And when the ayahuasca journey began, there was something that we did ahead of time. It was called rape, and it is a tobacco that is inhaled through the nose. And the shaman sort of shoots it up your nose with this little instrument. And because I was there for the full experience, I decided to go for it and try it out. And it instantaneously made me like feel like I was high and off balance. And I went back to my camp area, and it also did make me feel a little bit nauseous. And so at first I was like, maybe that wasn't the right choice to do that. Again, I was there for the full experience. So I wanted to try everything that was going to happen. And I did. It's helped to calm me down a little bit, to relax me for the next part of the experience, which was the actual ayahuasca. And this is the only time I've ever experienced it, so I don't know if it's prepared in other ways, but like I mentioned before, it comes from two plants, and either plant is not psychedelic in and of itself, but when you combine the two plants, this is what creates its psychedelic effects. And so it came in a little shot glass, and I was very happy that the shaman recognized that it was my first time, and she gave me a half a shot as opposed to a whole shot. So after I had my half a shot of the ayahuasca liquid, it actually tasted, I want to say, a little bit like raisins, and it was very earthy. It didn't taste bad. I actually was expecting it to taste terrible or bitter or something, and I actually liked the flavor. It was pretty decent. I too am a big plant eater. I love fruits and vegetables, so maybe that's why. I don't know. But I personally did not find the taste of it to be off putting at all. I actually thought it tasted good. So I went back to my encampment and I laid down, and it takes a while to process through your system. So you could feel like that it was in my stomach, and I could feel that my body was digesting it. Yes, I started feeling nauseous, and yes, I did get well. But I'm not going to talk about that part too much because everyone expects that part of it. And you are purging all of that negative energy out of your body. And so even though I ate a clean diet the whole entire week prior to the journey, I felt like what was coming out of me was on another level of vile. It really was more than just what was in my stomach. It almost felt like it was history of emotional pent up energies, negative things that were held in my body that was really coming out because it was another level of vile that I've never experienced before. And I will too say that it also caused me to have a lot of bowel movements as well. And so there was, thank God, a very nice clean bathroom that was available to the people that were doing it. It was a group setting. And so I was at the bathroom many times throughout that night. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. This is not an episode about that, but I do want to talk about my experience. So once I started feeling the medicine in my system really starting to take effect, I started having hallucinations, which is expected. And I thought to myself, oh boy, here it goes. And I was laying down. That night was a very cloudy night. In Florida, we get lots of nice, big, billowy clouds. And it was a night where there were a lot of clouds in the sky, and the clouds seemed very low that night. So they were like floating not so far away that I could really see them. And the first thing I noticed was that the stars that I could see in the sky, when I would stare at a star, it would become like a sparkler. And those sparklers that you get on 4th of July and you light them up and they just all sparkle and then they die out. When I was staring at the stars, I would see like that they were turning into sparklers. So that was one of the things that I experienced. And then the clouds were also morphing into animals. One of them was like a Pac Man, not really the shape of Pac Man, but like it was munching on the rest of the clouds. I was fully in that hallucination phase of the experience. And then I noticed that when my eyes were open, I could handle the hallucinations and I could experience them in a way that it was like enjoyable. I thought it was beautiful. Ooh, sparklers. Ooh, look at that. Look at the animals in the clouds. It was actually enjoyable. But when I closed my eyes, the hallucinations were startling to me. I would just see all these sorts of images, and it was like rapid fire, like image after image. I can't even explain to you how it was. It was almost like a kaleidoscope of images. So the kaleidoscope of images, when I closed my eyes, would startle me back to opening my eyes again. It was like almost scary to keep my eyes closed. And I feel like maybe I could have pushed through and been a little bit more brave and kept my eyes closed for more of it. But it really, truly was startling to me when I would close my eyes, which made the part of staying up all night for this experience that much harder because I was hoping that I would be able to nap here and there throughout the experience. Well, that is not to be. You are not meant to nap throughout the experience. You're meant to stay awake and to actually experience it fully. And having been excited about the experience, I don't know how well I slept the night before, but I know that night I was so tired and I really wanted to take a little nap. And my body just was not allowing me to. As soon as I would close my eyes, all of those images would start flashing and I would wake up. Or not wake up, but I would open my eyes. And also, there's music during the experience too. So there was somebody that they hired to come and provide the musical experience that's part of the journey itself. And there were sound bowls and there were various other instruments from around the world. I can't even tell you what all of them were. Some of them were very relaxing, very calming, and beautiful. Like it just helped me to get into the space, the mindset. And then there were some instruments or the music that was really off-putting to me, and it was frustrating because I felt like I didn't wanna hear it at the moment, and it's interesting because other people have had this experience as well after having spoken to other people about it, so I think it's an interesting thing. Thinking about doing it in the future, I feel like I would bring some noise canceling headphones because I felt like some of the music was just negatively impacting my experience. But maybe that's the point. I don't know. I just want to talk about my experience without it being, I don't know, nitpicked so much or studied so much. I just want to just tell you because I've been talking about this for so many episodes about what I experienced. And so there was also a fire that was going the whole night, a bonfire, which was lovely. Not that we need it here in Florida, it's hot as heck, but it was nice, kept the area illuminated. And fire is also a very cleansing element. And so it also was great to have there as well. So after having experienced my hallucinations, etc., there was a call for a second cup of ayahuasca that I said no thank you to because I still felt very nauseous and I didn't think that was a good idea to take another cup when I was feeling nauseous. Come to find out after the fact, the shaman said that is when you should take it because then you would get more of the effects of the medicine. If you did purge it out, she said she would give you like even more to then have the experience of the plant medicine. And I didn't do that. I didn't get the second cup, but I'm glad that I didn't because as it wore off, I could really focus on what my purpose was, which was wound healing. And I could really focus on meditating and thinking about cleansing my womb, healing my womb. I had another person on the show who talked about, it was Kanika Vasudeva, who talked about a visualization technique that I did multiple times throughout the preparation the week before and also during the ayahuasca journey. And you have to go back and listen to that episode because it's a really great episode. She goes through a visualization technique of how to start to cleanse your womb area. And so I did that visualization technique while I was meditating. I also did a lot of yoga poses and really tried to move the energy in that area. So I was doing a lot of undulations and pelvic rotations and pelvic tilting and a lot of movement in general. And so I was able to feel well enough to be able to do some yoga poses, etc., which was wonderful. And then they called for a third cup. And by then I had already started feeling like it was wearing off a bit. And I thought, I'm here for the whole experience. Let me have another cup. So I did have another cup. And that's when getting well really was an even bigger part of my experience. And after that had subsided and the hallucinations and the experience of the psychedelics were kicking in again, I was really able to hone into my own personal body and particularly my inner child. I started thinking about my inner child, and her name is Evie. This is my child nickname. And my inner child is something that I feel like I've done a lot of work on, especially in my 20s when I was really trying to heal from the sexual abuse experience. I was part of an organization that I've mentioned before called SIA, which stands for Survivors of Incest Anonymous. And I also went to therapy for years, very regularly. Between the two of those things, I really did do a lot of inner child work, but I had to say that the concept of the inner child was always like hypothetical for me. It was never like, oh, there's my inner child. I can feel her inside of me and I can really forgive her or really nurture her or really mother her. Like the concept of it was something that I was familiar with and something that I had actually worked on healing, but I never really felt connected to my inner child. Never. Until the ayahuasca journey. And as I was thinking about my inner child and thinking about telling her that she is perfect exactly as she should be, that she is not damaged goods, which is something that I used to think about myself, that she is not soiled, that she is not dirty, that she is perfect exactly as she is. And I was standing up at this time and I was thinking about her and I was picturing her and I could see her and I was holding her in my arms, in my hands, really. I was holding her face like this and I was holding her and I was rocking side to side and I was telling her these things that you are perfect, you are beautiful, you are pure, you are exactly as you should be. And I was nurturing her, mothering her in a way that I had never been able to connect with in the past. And it was very profound and powerful for me because I actually felt her inside of me. And I also felt her feel for the first time in my life that those things that I had been telling myself for years and years, I actually believed. Or not just me, but my inner child believed it. She believed that she was pure. She believed that she was unsoiled. She believed that she was perfect exactly as she was. She believed that she was not damaged goods. And that was the first time in my life, okay, that I've ever felt the powerful, all of those affirmations that we make to ourselves. I felt it truly in my soul. And I felt like she felt it truly in her soul. And so for me, that was a big breakthrough. And I really encourage people to do inner child work. I know that it's like a concept that's a bit woo, right? We do have parts of ourselves that are unhealed sometimes, and we need to really go back and heal those parts. And that was one thing that I feel like I accomplished with this ayahuasca journey. So that's where I'm going to end talking about my experience. Although I do want to mention one more thing that was also a really powerful and incredible experience that I never really thought about in terms of doing an ayahuasca journey, but I saw a UFO in the sky. And if you know me on a personal level, you'll know that my favorite shows are Ancient Aliens and Ancient Apocalypse, which talks a lot about aliens and beings in other places and even here on Earth, right? And so I am a big believer in this. And so for me to see a UFO was like, oh my gosh, this is like unbelievable. And I wasn't the only one who saw it. Like everybody there that was looking at the sky, they also saw it at the same exact time. And it turns out that this is a very common occurrence during ayahuasca journeys. Who knew? So that's all I'm going to say about that, except for it was just such an amazing experience to have possibly aliens or whatever UFOs observing us doing this journey together. And I thought that was very interesting. So after the fact, after the ayahuasca journey, after the plant medicine wore off, which took quite a long time, and the sun came up and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm still really like crazy right now. Like, how am I going to drive home? I was really worried. Luckily, I realized that as I was driving down to do this, I was near my favorite beach in Miami. So I knew that after the journey, I was going to go and jump in the ocean, which I did. But after the journey itself, you're really encouraged to do a lot of self-reflection, to write down your dreams, because what the medicine does is it creates more connections in your brain. And so you tend to have lots of dreams afterwards. And so every day I was waking up and recording my dreams and trying to like really understand what my body was trying to tell me. And a lot of stuff came up about an ex-boyfriend that I had in high school, which is interesting because I did need a lot of healing around that. Even though I'm not in that relationship anymore, you can really still learn a lot if you go back in time and think about how you felt during that time, what your issues were in your relationship. You could really do a lot of work around healing that as well. And so a lot of that came up, which was really super interesting. Just lots and lots of dreams. And it's encouraged to talk to somebody or to really focus on integrating that information that you're getting from all of these different aspects of the journey itself, and then after the post effects of it, and talk to somebody about it to really understand and integrate the experience. And if ever you're interested in doing something like this, I encourage you to think about integrating as well. And again, this is by no means something that I'm encouraging any of my listeners to do. I just wanted to tell my listeners about my personal experience with ayahuasca because it was such a profound experience for me. And it's something that I've been talking about throughout this whole season. And so I thought that this would be a great way to end the season with my experience with ayahuasca. With that being said, I want to thank you for listening. We are drawing to a close season 5. I can't believe it. Next week is going to be the last 2 episodes of season 5. And then I will be doing a few encore episodes and some webinars that I've never published before, which is going to be really exciting coming up. And so I can't believe that this season's almost over, but I want to thank you all for listening to the show, for sharing the show with your friends and family. Please do so if this is something that you might be interested in sharing with someone. Please share this episode and leave reviews. Reviews are how podcasts grow. And right now, my show is in the top 2.5% globally, which is incredible. It is often in the top 10 in the United States under sexuality, the topic of sexuality. Please edit this part. Let's say that sentence again. Please Me is often in the top 10 in the sexuality topic category, which is super exciting. In just a couple of weeks, I will be attending the ASN Awards, where I was nominated for Best Educator and Best Educator Website. During this season, I have also been nominated and won awards like the Golden Mike Award. I've been nominated for a couple of Women in Podcasting Awards, International Women in Podcasters Awards, the Latin Podcasting Awards. I've been nominated under several categories there as well. And so I'm so honored to continue to be bringing you this content that I absolutely love to talk about, which is sexuality and sexual health. And so at the very end of this, I just want to tie in why this ayahuasca journey was important to me for that. Okay. And my womb space is the womb space where we obviously have sex. This is the area of our body that is where the sexual organs live. And I thought to myself, having experienced sex many times, and I enjoy it, and and I do feel like I have big clit energy, which is a term that I coined during this show. I have to say that, though, that I still sometimes have memories that come back to me during the act that are negative and from my history and from my past. I also sometimes feel like I dissociate and I close my eyes and I'm thinking about other things and I'm not thinking about being in the present moment. And so I knew that there were other areas of my life that I could really work on to even make my sexual life even more amazing. And I knew that this was something that I wanted to do for myself. And I have found that since I've done it and have continued to do more womb healing through different modalities that I won't go into right now, I have found that my sexual experience has become even more mind-blowing. So working on yourself, working on this area of your life can be something that can be transformative and spiritual. And so I encourage you to find what's best for you out there, because I want everybody listening to walk away from listening to my show and be one step closer to feeling that big clit energy within yourself. So with that being said, I want to thank you for listening today, and please share if you find that you want to share this with somebody, and leave reviews. And that's all for today. Thank you so much. Until next time. For ad-free listening, exclusive bonus episodes, Eve's library of archived webinars, and early access to new releases of Please Me, become a monthly supporter on Patreon. Simply open the Patreon app on your phone, search for Please Me, and subscribe today for premium content and more. Cheers to finding your pleasure and big lit energy.